when it comes to your finances. And that is what we're going to be talking about today. How are you? Happy Wednesday. It's day. It's almost one more day, 2 more days, and it's going to be the new week. It's going to be the end of the week. So today it's all about the wealth building series that we have been talking about. Started with income. Today we started with income. We started with our skills. Then the real estate, we talked about the first four pillars of wealth building. That's what we are talking about. And but today the focus is on the fourth foundation. Foundation number one is your income. Second foundation is your real estate. Third one is the smart investing, and the last one is the financial foundation. Of course, if you build a house and the foundation is not right, trust me, it's not going to be built. It's going to collapse. And that's what we're talking about today, your foundation. So this is one of the most important aspects of wealth building. So welcome, and we keep showing up. We keep showing up, right? So that is what we're talking about today. Today is about financial foundation. Welcome here. How are you doing? Happy Wednesday. Today is about the wealth building series, and it's all about your foundation, your financial foundation. Just like this, we have a foundation for every house. There will be a foundation, right? And then there will be the four pillars, right? And today we're talking about the main foundation, which is what I call a financial foundation. Because you cannot be, if you want to build wealth, it starts with the foundation. If the foundation is wrong, you realize that you're not going to build wealth, right? So how then do you build your foundation? It is important that you build a solid foundation. Welcome everyone. I am Dr. Lina. If you are just meeting with me, I'm Dr. Lina, Doctor of Business and Technology, and I help professionals turn their income into real wealth. So if you're just meeting me today, welcome. How are you doing? Queen FX, welcome. How are you? Let me know where you're connecting from. I am in Texas in United States, and we're talking about wealth building. So if you're wondering what the structure is all about, it's all about wealth building. What does wealth building mean? If all that you do is you're taking your income every single month and you use it to just pay bills, you realize that you're not building wealth. All that you're doing is you're taking your income to fund lifestyle, paying bills. That's all that you're basically doing. How then do you build wealth, right? The best way to build wealth is for you follow these four principles, four pillars, or I call it the four pillars of wealth building. And it is, I call it right now we are on the wealth building series. Wealth building series. What does this mean? Because we have four pillars plus the foundation to build wealth. So what is the first pillar? We've been on this for the past 3 days. First pillar is your income. It always starts with your income. The next pillar is your smart investor. Third is real estate, and the last is the financial foundation that we are talking about today. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Let me know where you're also connecting from. I am in Texas in United States, and if you're just meeting me, I'm Dr. Lina. I'm Doctor of Business and Technology, and I help professionals turn their income into real wealth. So welcome here. And the goal for yours is to build both the time wealth, the health wealth, the peace wealth, and the money wealth. Time wealth simply means ability to live life at your own terms. Health wealth means if health fails, every other thing fails, right? And also you have your peace wealth, ability to to sleep with your two eyes closed. That is health wealth. Health is wealth, peace that comes with it, and of course the money wealth, the investment. And this is all that we're going to be talking about today. So welcome here. Let me know where you're connecting from. I am Dr. Lina. I'm a doctor of business and technology, and I help professionals turn their 9-to-5 income into real wealth. Today, we're talking about the wealth building series. This is day 4, right? We started with the first wealth building tool. We started with the first one on, I think it's on Monday, right? We started with that. We talked about your income. Think about it, whenever it starts with your income is right here. If all that you do with your income, and if you have not subscribed, subscribe right there. Follow if you haven't do that. Tap on the TikTok side, do that as well. We try to get to 10,000 taps within the first 10 minutes so that we can get on the FYP. And those on YouTube, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, because I produce weekly long form videos that help you, free resources for you right there to help you build wealth the right way. Goal here is financial freedom. The goal here is financial freedom. It's not money. Money is just a tool, but financial freedom is actually the goal. Money will help you to get there, right? So having said that, number one, your income. Just a quick recap for those that have missed it from the beginning. The wealth building. Number one, the first pillar is your income. If all that you do with your income is to pay bills, right? You realize that you will remain on the hamster wheel. You continue to have to work. And that's what they call the paycheck to paycheck. You might be, regardless of how much you're earning, if your income is basically focused on, expenses and bills, you realize that you have to continue to do that job every single month, every single day, and just so you can catch up with bills. Trading your time for money, basically that's what you're doing, right? But then what then should you do differently? What you should do differently to be able to gain freedom. Remember, freedom is the goal. Freedom is right here, income is right here. So there's a huge gap between freedom and income. A lot of time people do not understand that freedom is here, freedom is this, right? That's the goal. Income is here. It means that how then do you fit this gap? Because you can keep chasing income is increasing and freedom will keep going, right? But this gap, once you, the two pillars and the other three pillars are what determines your success for you to close the gap between income and freedom. And this is why I have this, and that's where the All Wealth Building series is all about. Welcome on the YouTube side, and subscribe if you haven't done that. It costs you nothing, but you gain a whole lot of things. And for everyone joining from the TikTok side, do your daily at me, do your tap, go populars, comment, let me know where you're connecting from. And of course, if you haven't followed, do that so that you don't miss the next series. We started it since Monday, series number. So the first pillar is that income. So take that income, right? Basically, you want to do three things with your income. You want to have structure and have a system when it comes to your income. Structure and a system. Because you see some people, they make decent income. I have clients that make good money, right? And you still see that, oh, you know what, they're still stuck when it comes to their finances. Why? Because there's lack of system, there's lack of structure. So the money comes in, and of course the money goes out. Money comes in, money goes out. That is you not having movie silence. Welcoming AA Cube, welcoming MC Black, welcoming Benjamin, welcoming. How are you all doing? Let's tap out the live. Thank you for tapping out the live. Let's get to 10,000 as quickly as we can so that we can get on the FYP. Thank you. Also share the live. Thank you for doing all of that. Really appreciate you all doing all of that. Thank you so much for that. So great. So income. When you get your income, how do you put your system how do you have a system towards your income to ensure that you gain financial freedom? Financial freedom is the goal, and you close this gap. It's one thing. Have a structure. What is that structure? The first thing is have something that is called budget, and it's going to be linked to the first thing that we have in our financial foundation today. It is called financial planning, and we're going to get into that. But let me just recap. On that income, you want to make sure that your income is as high as possible. If it's not, and how can you get your income as high? Good afternoon, pal. Welcome in. And every other person joining, welcome. Thank you. We tap out the live, we share out the live, we go populars, comment, and of course follow if you haven't done that. Get your daily at me. Welcome in. And we're talking, this is day 3 of the wealth building series, right? So income, make sure you're working towards your income really being high and your expenses still keeping it low. You see this gap here, this gap, I call it 30 to 50%. If you can get your 30 to 50% in terms of this gap, you realize that you're going to win with money. It's going to, you will end up not getting stuck with your income anymore. Reason is, you see, if your income is here and your expense is here, right? And all that you keep here is maybe 5% or 1%, or you don't even keep anything at all, you would realize that you have to continue to work to fund this expense. But if you make sure that your expense is low, right? Your income is high, your expense is low, and you're able to keep like 30 to 50%. It's okay if you cannot get 30 to 50% immediately, that's fine. But let it be your goal. When you get that you'd realize that it gets to a certain time, you are closing the gap between your income and your expense. Benjamin, welcome. The Health Hub, welcome. Dr. T, welcome in. How are you doing today? So you would realize that you're able to close the gap between financial freedom and income, because you are putting some money aside every single month, right? Every single paycheck, you're bringing 30%, 10%, 20%, you are putting it aside, right? Now, if you realize that, you know what, my income is not high enough, I mean, my income and my expense are super close, and you know that your expense is at the barest minimum, right? It's really, really low. God never fails. Kami, welcome in. Benjamin, welcome in. Power, welcome in. You know, if you realize that your income is, you know, there's nothing you can still do with this expense because it's at the barest minimum. MS Colley, welcome in. If you realize that the expense is at the barest minimum, right? And your income is here, it's either two things. Either you reduce your expense, but you see that, okay, you've cut off everything, there's nothing else, you're just doing your basic need, but then the gap between your income and your expense is still very thin. Then you have to do something. You have to force your income. You want to force your income up. A1, welcome in. You know, you want to force your income up. What does this, how do you force your income up? You can do that, do two things. One, get additional skill set. Get the certification. I'm talking about, how are you, Stephen? Welcome in. You know, you're either increasing your income by getting additional skill set. You don't need to go back to college to go and take college loan and all of that. You don't need to do that. You basically need to get some certification. I did that like 14 years ago, increasing my income by $30,000, just taking a certification. I pivoted from finance into technology. That you can do something like that, and there's so many free training that you can actually do. Welcome in. You know, there's so many free training that you can actually take on Coursera, right? Coursera, on other business school that are free, that you can actually take as of today, and you can start increasing your income. Grow Evan, welcome in, and thank you all for tapping out the live. So get your daily admin, tap out the live, go populars, and of course comment and follow. Let me know where you're connecting from. Let's tap out the live and get it to 10,000 as quickly as possible. And on YouTube, let us all subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Welcome in. And we're talking about the wealth building series. This is day number 3. We are on day number 3 today, and I'm just going back on the recap. Today we are going to talk about everything financial foundation. Today, that's what we're talking about, financial foundation. But right now, I am back on the first pillar, just so for the people that miss, you know, the day 1, day 2, because it's a series, it's a wealth building series. Okay, so subscribe if you haven't done that on YouTube and on TikTok. Let us tap out the live as non-stop. Let's do that. Go populars, comment, follow if you haven't, and of course your daily admin. Thank you so much for doing that. So whenever you want to build a lot, and it's called the 4 pillars of wealth creation, wealth building, right? This is your wealth building. This is your own building when it comes to your wealth. So we are on the first pillar, but today is all about, the focus is going to be on the 4th pillar. So pillar number 1 is your income. Pillar number 1, income. For those that are taking note, income. Do not despise your income, but then you are going to make sure that that income you're keeping close to like 30 to 50%, 30 to 50% of that your income every single month. The way you can say that, oh, you know what, Dr. Lina, 30 to 50% is too much. Levi, welcome in. 30 to 50% is too much. I cannot afford that right now. My bills are super low. Mistro Phosphona, welcome. You know, my bills are too low. My expenses are very, I'm not expending on so much things right now. King Buddy, welcome. But then I can still save. It means that you have to do something. You have to force your income. Banking Global, welcome. NS, welcome. You know, you have to increase your income. Now, how do you increase your income? It's 2 ways. Either you get you get additional skill, not going back to college, but not taking a college loan, get some free certification. There's some free training that you'll be so surprised on Google Coursera. Farouk, welcome, and thank you for tapping out the live, sharing the live as well. Getting your free certification, free training. Go to Harvard Business School. Go to there's also Google Coursera where you can get free training. Coursera is Coursera. You'll be so amazed at so many free trainings that you can actually have. So that's one, because you want to force your income up, right? Force it up. The second thing you can do is you can actually increase, you can supplement your income. What do I mean by supplement income? I mean, welcome in. How do you supplement your income? You supplement your income by simply you have your main income. Let's say your income is 70,000. You want to get to 100,000, the six figure, right? You want to get the welcome, user welcome. It's your welcome. You want to increase your income. You want to supplement it. You have that main income giving you 70,000. Now, what you need to do is get an additional source of income. This could be, maybe something I'm doing right now, like you are doing content creation on the side. It could be that you're driving Uber on a weekend, right? Do 4 hours, Saturday and Sunday, and just get extra income. That could be another 10,000, 20,000 for you. It could be something like, renting your car on Toro, because you're not driving your car over the weekend. You can rent it out on Toro. You can also do something called rental arbitrage, where you rent a house and then you would use it for short-term and medium-term rentals. Do the Airbnb in that neighborhood. As a matter of fact, we did rent one of our homes to somebody, right, that they were using it for Airbnb, right? And they pay us on a monthly basis in long term, but then they make more money. So let's say the mortgage, the rent is about, long-term rental is about, let's say $2,000. You can make up to like $4,000, putting it on short-term rentals and all of those medium-term rentals. That is additional $2,000 for you. Let's say you make $4,000. $4,000 every single month. That is a gap. As a matter of fact, I'm putting together, like 5K also, 5K side also that you can have, right? And I believe I'll be sharing that more in June as part of the Wealth Building Academy and our immediate money challenge, right? We had one in December. We'll have another challenge, money challenge every single day of June. We'll be having money challenge to see where are you doing with your finances, tips that can help you increase your income, all of those things. We're going to be doing that in June, so be on the lookout for that. It's called the Wealth. We would also be having the Wealth Building Academy in June, just so you can get yourself educated, get yourself prepared for the next half of the year, July to December. That's what that is all about. Divine, welcome in. Lucia, welcome in. Elfreda, welcome in. Jamo, welcome in. Eva, welcome in. Every other person that I've joined that I've not called, welcome all in. And let's keep tapping out the live. If you haven't follow, do your go populars, get your daily admin, and of course share the live. Press my forehead and share the live. Subscribe on the YouTube side if you haven't subscribed, and let's do that. So be on the lookout for the Wealth Building Academy. That's going to be free. We'll have HR managers, come around, cybersecurity experts, clinical, all of the therapists and all of those kind of experts come around to come and teach us how do you pivot. Because see somebody that is a cybersecurity expert that pivoted from as a geophysics, right, moved into to become a cybersecurity director. You want to understand how that person did it without having to go back to college. We have people like that, and you want to also hear the perspective of HR. How do they grow people? How do they move? Those are the kind of education, because June is all going to be how do you increase that income, understanding that your first pillar is income. Your first pillar is income. But then when we get that income, you are going to have the expenses low. So if you haven't followed, if you have not subscribed, you want to do that so that you don't want to miss out on that. You want to increase your income to 6-figure, because here the goal is that you start from your 6-figure salary, you get to that 6-figure, and then when you have your 6-figure salary, right, your income, then you are still going to keep your expense low. Mama Lady, welcome. Davis, welcome as well, right? And when you keep your income low, your expense low, your income high, keep about 30 to 50%, right? 30 to 50% is what you're keeping. 30 to 50%. That 30 to 50% is going to now go to what? Pillar number 2, right? Pillar number 2 is about smart investing. So this is pillar number 1, because whenever you are building a house, right? That house must have 4 pillars. Have you ever seen a house with 3 pillars? It would have 4 pillars, right? It would definitely have the 4 pillars to be solid, and it has to have a foundation, and it has to have a roof. The roof here on the center here is financial freedom, right? So we just talked about income. Now you take that income, 30 to 50% of that income, you're going to use it. That 30% to 50%, what then do you use it for? It goes into the second pillar. The second pillar is called something called smart investing. Smart investing, all about, keep it simple. Here we talk about things that, because if you put your money in the bank, all that you put in there, you are just losing your money to inflation. You are gaining 0.01% from the bank, but you are losing it at 3.3% to inflation. Currently in the United States, inflation is at 3.3%, but in some other country, it's even double digit, 10%, 15%. It means the rate at which you are losing your money, your value of your money, your purchasing power is reduced every single month. Thank you. Let's tap out the live. Get your daily admin, tap out the live, go popular, comment, follow if you haven't done that. So basically, all right. So basically, you are AC. Welcome in. So basically, you are going to start with smart investing. 30% of that income, 50% of it. If you don't have it, that's okay. It's okay, but your goal should be like, okay, whenever you get a promotion, whenever you get a salary increase, whenever you move around or your income increases, do not allow your expenses to follow. Don't do that. You allow your expenses to remain, but then the gap is that 30% or 50%, or even if it's 10%, whatever you can do, then you put it towards something called smart investing. What is smart investing? You're not leaving your money in the bank. You're not putting it you are putting it in the stock market, but in a safe vehicle. A safe vehicle like ETF. What is ETF? Exchange traded funds. That's what it is. It's just a basket of, you are buying multiple stock in one purchase over buying one stock. And let's tap out the live. So get your daily admin, tap out the live, go populars, comment, follow. So you're investing, and today we're talking about the second pillar is investing, right? Yes, is ETF says yes, absolutely. Is you mean SAFE, right? It's safe, right? Grace, welcome in. Cosa Nostra, welcome in. Michael, welcome in. And Anointing, get you all welcome in. And everyone on the YouTube side, welcome. Credit Repair, welcome in. Boldface, welcome in. So basically, so think about it. So we're talking about investing. So investing, it also requires investing in this life. It simply means tap out, right? Investing in this life, tap out, get your go populars if you can. It costs you 1 cent. Daily at me, of course. Get your daily at me if you have been sitting here. Shanty Face, welcome in. Boldface, welcome in, right? And of course, comment. Let me know where your comment coming from. We are going to be engaging, right? Engaging, okay? This is day 3 of the wealth building series, right? What about if the price comes up and investing every week? That is why it's long term, right? It is long term. It's not going. You're not going to be. Whenever it becomes when you're whatever strategy we're using here, it is more of medium to long term, right? When it comes to ETF, depending on the ones that you're buying, it doesn't swing as much, right? It doesn't swing as much. And so I give you an instance, like an S&P 500 has returned 14% in the past 10 years, 14 to 15% in the past 10 years, averagely. So it tells you that it is pretty stable, right? You're not getting 50%, you're not getting 100%, you're just getting basically between 8 to 15%. That's what you're getting. And even at 10%, your money is going to double its value in less than 7 years. So that is a stable thing, right? Consistency is key right here. Let's keep tapping out the light. Thank you all for tapping out the light. Let's heavily tap out the light. Let's get it to 5,000. And those on YouTube, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe now. If you subscribe now, because you have so many things to gain than to lose. I hope that answers your question, Grace. I hope that answers your question. And talking about investing, that's how you invest in this life. Tap, tap, tap. Daily at me. Go populars. Comment, follow, and also share. All right, share. Right? The pillar again: blue, red, yellow, and gray. How are you invalid? Welcome in. Welcome in and great. Okay, that answers your question. Yes, because it's the wealth building series, invalid. It's a wealth building series, and today is day three. I know you've been here from day one, and we are just recapping about day one and day two for those that missed it. What about common share in the ETF? I'm not sure what you mean by common share, right? Explain. Pay yourself first, and pay yourself, right? Pay yourself, do not rent. All right, so welcome. Awesome. Let's keep going. So the smart investing is very important, right? Smart investing, because you are think about it. It's ETF, where it's just instead of you buying individual stock, you are buying a basket of funds. So you are not, it takes you from the risk of 50-50, which is 50-50, you could lose your money or you could gain your money. That's a 50-50 chance, lose it or gain, right? But if you invest in multiple, right, if you invest in multiple, you'd realize that you are not, your chances of losing is lower, right? Because it's either you are buying one stock and stock goes down, you lose all your money. It goes up, you gain, right? But the same way, when it comes to ETF, you can have 100 stocks inside one basket. So it means that even one stock goes down, you are not going to totally lose your money. It is more or less safe, right? More or less safe. Okay, do not rent, be an owner. Yes, do not rent, be an owner, right? That's when you get to real estate. Pay yourself first, right? Pay yourself first. So how does that work? And let's keep tapping out the life. Let us pay yourself in this life by tapping out the life. It costs you nothing. By the way, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Follow if you haven't followed. Pay yourself. That is you investing. And of course, get your daily at me if you haven't got. It's a form of you investing here. You're also learning how to invest, and of course, you're helping this life and helping others as well. That's how you give back to community, right? Because now you would see that if we all start tapping heavily and we share out the life, you see some more people coming to this life, and of course that is some people coming to learn, and that's how you also give back to the society. So pay yourself. It's almost the same way, the logic of when you invest, you get a return. Basically, that's what it is. So let's do that. Thank you so much for doing that and sharing out the live, tapping out the live, and for all of the comments. Ask questions as needed. So ETF, right? ETF view S&P 500 at the all right. Okay. Invalid. I think you'll now be the, what's it called? You be the mod. So having said that, think about it. S&P 500 is a very popular ETF. It's a form of where you invest your money, and then you get about 14 to 15% return, averaging for the past 10 years, right? For the past 30 years, for the past 40 years, it's return between 8 to 12%, right? But in the past 10 years, it's returned between 14 to 15%, averagely. Emphasis on average. So there are times when it's higher than 15%. Last year it was 18%. It means that if you had $10,000, you would have gotten $1,800 last year on top of your money. The same way, if you had put that $1,000 or $10,000, you left it in the bank, you would have gotten a beautiful sum of amount of $1. $1 is what you would have gotten from your bank, right? But then if you put it in an S&P 500, returning that, you would have gotten, just even the average 14%, 18, that's $1,400 to $1,500. And look at it, if you do that for 5 years, right? In year 2, that's 3,000, that's 6,000, right? In about 6 years or less than 7 years, you'd realize that you have and compound at 18%. Yes, absolutely. Maybe not 18%, right? It compounds annually. That year, it compounded at 18% last year. This year, it might compound at 32% if the S&P 500 does well. It can also compound at 4% because averagely, but for the past 10 years, it has been between 14 to 15%. So it's almost like, that's like you putting your money in the bank, right? And that's just the same way. Of course, there's also the risk, right? There is still the risk that the market can go down. But because we are long-term investors, we are medium-term, so we're not day traders, so it could go down. Right now, as a matter of fact, S&P 500 is at all-time high. All-time high. That's where it is right now as of today. right? As of today, I think it was close. Is getting like a VO is getting close to like 700, right? And I bought some at 285. See what it is right now, right? Give me an ETF that compounds daily. Invalid. Every one of them compounds daily, right? It compounds daily, but the only thing is that it is not going to compound. So divide your 18 by 365. You get what is compounded, what the compound interest is for the day. Okay, invalid. I hope that answers your question. Divide your 18% by 365. You know what it is compounding daily. Okay, you get that result right there. Awesome. So basically, ETF is just another way, and that is what is called smart investing, and that's your pillar number 2. And for anybody that wants to know more, you can get the smart investing course that would help you to learn everything from beginning to the end. You will learn everything beginning to end. You will find the link in my bio and you will find it right there. It's going to help you if you want to learn how to invest in ETFs and all of those things, which is the second pillar. Now think about it. Back to what we were saying earlier, your income, right? 30%. Let's assume that you're earning 500, you're earning 100,000, right? You earn 100,000, you save 30,000, right? Which is the 30 to 50%. Let's use the lowest part of the spectrum. 30%, $30,000. $30,000, it compounds at 10%. That means you are good every single year. You're getting at least, you're getting $3,000 on your money. Your money becomes 33,000. That's what it is. If it's at 15%, it means that you would have got, your money will be like 34,500 every single year. That is you that's you saving. Donald, welcome in. You know, that is you. That's how you save and you grow your money. This is helping you to grow your money, right? Pillar number 1 is you saving your money. Pillar number 2 is helping you grow your money. So you have saved 30% of that, your income. You are now putting it towards, you put it in smart investing. It's going to grow at 10%. It's going to grow at 15% or whatever. If you put it in NASDAQ 100, it's going to grow at 18 to 22%. It grows that way. Now, now, you know what you have done? You are no longer just working, right? It is, your money is now working. Your money now generated $3,000 this year. Invalid said that is compound. Need better than that. Okay, that's good for you, right? But I hope you don't lose it. Okay, invalid. Do need better than that, but don't lose it. Okay, that's the most important thing. Safety first, but regardless, make sure that you do not lose it. Okay, we all want something better, right? That's the goal. Awesome. So think about it. You have this your income, right? It means that you initially you are the one working 100%. Now that your work is now generating with 30%, is now generating another $44,000 every single year. Think about it. If you do the same thing year 2, that your 4,000 is now going to be what? 8,000. And then it is not just 8,000, because right now, remember, the 30,000 is still there. 30,000 becomes 34,000, right? Your 34,000 is now going to even increase more, because it's no longer, your baseline is not 34,000 and 30,000 anymore. It's 34,000 plus the 30,000 for the new year. And that's how you grow your money. Next year, you do it again. Another year. That year would have this. So that's how you increase your wealth. And before you know it, it becomes, in 5 years, you start moving towards financial freedom. Remember, you were here, income, and you're going towards the goal of what's it called? You're going towards the goal of financial freedom. There is the gap. You just realize that the gap is closing by the day, and at some point you will get to financial freedom. So if I drive Uber and make $30 for pay yourself first, where would I be in 1 year? You have to do your calculation yourself. You need to know what your annual is, right? You are going to be far away, by the way. If you make $30 a day, right, you are going to be far away, invalid. So first of all, you start with your income. I need to invest it. How often should I buy ETF? Oh, pal, I thought you were in the training, right? I thought you were in the training, but for those that are new, it is every paycheck. That is why we talked about, remember, invalid here keeps saying PYSF. PYSF simply means pay yourself first. Yeah, pay yourself first. When you eat an out, pal, Pay yourself first. So it means that every time you get paid, then you pay yourself first. That's what it means. PYSF means pay yourself first. As you get paid, you pay yourself first. As you are paying taxes, you get paid, you pay taxes, you get pay health insurance, you pay your. So whenever you invest in ETF, right? That's what we mean by pay yourself first. Everything that you have been seeing invalid say, invalid, what they name? Everything that you've been hearing invalids say right here in this life about PYSF, right? PYSF is basically you investing in ETF or real estate or something. That's what it means. Whenever you get your paycheck, use some of that. You see the 30% that we are talking about, that's how you build that 30%. 30% of that your income, putting it towards investment or 50% or whatever. And then let's thank you all for tapping out the live. Can we get it to 10,000? Let's get it to 10,000. Let's pay ourselves in this life. Let's invest in this life. Get your tap. Follow if you haven't. Comment if you haven't. You're yet to comment. And of course, go Populous and right there. Thank you all for doing that. I know we are locked in, and today it's about the wealth building series. This is day 3, and we're just going back to what we talked about in day 1, day 2, which is day 1 was all about your income, right? Day 2, it's all about smart investing. To want to know everything about investing, smart investing, you get the smart investing course. Then we're going to go to the third one, and smart investing is all about ETF, how to invest in ETF, the beginning, from beginning to the end of ETF. You would get to understand that ETF is exchange traded funds, returning between 8 to 22% or even higher, depending on the kind of funds where you put your money. Now, what is the third pillar? The third pillar is real estate, right? Now you have got to remember it's a flow, right? It starts with your income. Then we go to your we put it in smart investing. Income 30% to 50%. That's what you're saving. Increase your income by getting side hustle, or get a skill that help you to force your income up. Then you take that income that you increase, that money extra, that 30%, you put it towards smart investing ETF, right? That is giving you between 8 to 22%. That's how you grow your money. This is growing. Then you take some of the money. Once you build, this is helping you to build capital. Once this money is growing, you get to a certain point, you put it into real estate. Real estate is ones that pay you. It's the one I call the wealth accelerator. Invalid said, remember there's a bill you have to pay before food, rent, and it is pay yourself bill. Absolutely, and consistently. You are absolutely correct. Before food, yes, but make sure you check your budget, right? That's why it's important you understand what are your bills. You should know what your rent is, what your mortgage is. You should know what your what your housing is. You should know what your utilities is. More like before, according to Invalid, before the liquor, before the DoorDash, before the Amazon, right? Before all of that, pay yourself first, basically, by investing in ETF. Opa said, I have a side also. Should I invest all of it? Yes, because except you have it to, basically, you have a side also. Yes, basically, except you want to, okay, first of all, have your emergency fund. Have your emergency fund of 3 to 6 months. Build that. Have your, any high interest debt above 10%, right? That means mortgage take care of that, right? Take care of that, and then you can start investing. Put it in ETF, right? If you have that side also, you can decide to say that my side also, that's what I'm going to be using for all of my bills. I actually have a client like that is going to be 50, and he's trying to do catch up with time, and he will just do Uber. He's an engineer. He will do Uber over the weekend, and he will say, okay, this Uber money that I make from Uber, that is what I use towards investing, right? I mean, that's what I use to pay my bills. And then he says that my main money, that's what I'm using towards investing, because he doesn't have time in the market anymore. He doesn't have so much time in the market. What do you think about cats? Will it continue to go? I don't know. I really don't know, because here I talk about focus is more of ETF rather than rather than individual stock. But you need to check that, Mr. Ben, right? I don't know. I really do not. Yeah, it is. I focus more on ETF. I can tell you about, the VOO or S&P 500 is about all-time high. Because just the same way that you're saying that, could it grow or tank? That's the 50-50 when it comes to individual stock. 50-50, it could grow or it could tank, right? It could grow or it could tank. That's Caterpillar. We don't know, right? Because what is making it go right now? Because it's Caterpillar. Is it that there's a lot of outages or whatever? Because from generator perspective, from machine and all of those kind of things. So I need to have all of this information. Is there a particular reason? Are they using generator are they using cat generator or whatever in the Middle East? Is there a lot of outage? Is there like flooding and there's power outage and people need more generator? Of course, I know that generator is just one thing, right? What is that? People building more. Those are the things, okay? Yeah, but all of you, Junior, welcome in. I hope that answers your question. You need to go and do that research. AI and the backlogs. Okay, yeah, you need to just do the research before you take a decision, right? So it's because I don't have the capacity for all of this. That's why I stick with something that is simple. Your S&P 500, S&P 500, ETF in general, basket of stuff. And thank you all for tapping out the live. Thank you for sharing the live. Doc, when are you creating content that I can resell? Okay, send me a DM. I don't know what you're. Send me a DM and I create content. You will see it on my page already. All right. So having said that, we talked about smart investing. You want to know everything about smart investing, you would find it, the smart investing course, right? How you can turn your income into real wealth, right? If smart investing course, you can find it, the link in my bio, or you can send me a DM and I'll send it to you. So the fourth pillar, right? The third pillar is real estate, and real estate is something that you have to have in your portfolio, especially once you get to the six-figure salary or you're in the tax bracket above 26%, because you are paid so much taxes. This is a strategy that would help you reduce your taxes and help you accelerate your wealth, because it pays you in 6 different ways. You get equity, you get cash flow, you get appreciation, you also get tax benefit. Tax benefit is very, very huge, because all of those interests that you are complaining about, all of those HOA, all of those kind of things that you see, that you talk about, all of those ones are actually tax deductible. You can use it to reduce your taxes. One of my clients, taxes was at 70,000. She paid a tax. She paid year one, she paid 60,000. Year two, she paid 70,000. That is a tax for the year, right? And so when we had a conversation, she was like, no, this is ridiculous. That next year I'm going to even make more money, right? I'm making more money. It means that next year my taxes are going to be like, when I file my returns, I'm going to be paying like 80,000, 90,000. That's a whole person income for a whole year. And he said, what's the way out? And the way out was she had to buy 2 properties the following year. Guess what? The following year, even though she made more in terms of income, that year her taxes, when she filed her taxes return, she got 10,000. That's all that she had to pay. $10,000 worth of 60,000, 70,000. That's the benefit of real estate, right? And then on top of that, there's also something called leverage. When it comes to real estate, you can use little money to own a lot of assets. You just need to use leverage really well. Let's tap out the live. Can we tap out the live? Let's tap out the live. J Zaldiva, welcome in. Opal BJD Ajay, welcome in. And we are talking about today is all about the wealth building series. This is pillar number 3 that we just talked about, real estate. Where do you get money to pay mortgage? You get money to pay mortgage from the rent, from your tenant. Your tenant pays the mortgage, right? Tenant pays the mortgage. And let's power share. Invalid. Okay, press the forehead and power share. Share with your contact. Let's have your contact in. And everyone, let's power share. Let's power share and let's tap out the live so we can have more people. Because now we are going for the one for today, right? For today. What real estate helps you to do? Real estate puts more money in your pocket. Real estate gets to It puts more money in your pocket, and at the same time, it helps you to accelerate your wealth quicker. Basically, that's Cami. Welcome in. It helps you to accelerate your wealth quicker. So let's go to the one for today: financial foundation. Financial foundation. Invalid is where no friends or followers. So, okay, that's great. Cami, welcome in. So, financial foundation. What is financial foundation? Look at this, right? If you make a building, have you seen anyone build a house without a foundation? Even if it's going to be on the water, you need to even put a much more solid foundation, right? This foundation is absolutely key in everything that you're doing. So if you are building a house, you are building your financial house, and Mega, welcome in. You are building your financial house, and you have all of the ones that we talked about, smart investing, income, and all of that, and you do not have this foundation, you'd realize that it's going to crumble, it's going to fall. What do I mean? And what does this foundation mean? There are three of them that I talk about, and I call them the financial fortress. It gives you the foundation, it gives your finances, right? It gives you the fortress. So that's why I always say that you can make good money, but if the foundation is weak, your money will disappear. And that might be the reason why you see some people that make so much money, like all these basketballers, all of these what's it called, some of this, is it Mike Tyson that they said he did? Steph, welcome in. Was it is it Michael Tyson, or which one said he filed bankruptcy after making millions and millions of dollars? Thank you all for tapping out the light. Let's tap out the light. Let's tap out the light. Is it this one of them that and I'm also doing my own part of tapping, sharing out the light, just so now that we are in the this thing for the day, the main thing for the day. Okay, and let's do that. Let's share the live as well, and let's tap out the live so that we can, now that we are on the part of where we are about starting about the financial fortress. Okay, let's tap out the live. Let's share the live with friends, and so that they can come and learn about the. All right, and we will start shortly. It's the day four of the four of the wealth building series, and now we're going on the financial fortress. So I'm just sharing. Let's share out the live. Let's tap out the live. Thank you for doing that. Sharing the live, tapping out the live. Okay, perfect, perfect. Thank you all for you have you have only, yes, that's why you need to tap out the live, okay? In Valley, you need to tap out the live. Thank you, Ernest. Thank you for the follow. We get to thank you. That's it. That's what we're talking about, so that we get everyone here. So let's keep tapping out the live. Awesome, great. So, financial fortress, perfect. So, people make good money. Just like my client that said, oh, she had 70,000, she had to pay to IRS. If you already paid 70,000 to IRS, what's going to happen? It means that it's 70,000 out of your pocket. There's no way you struggle with money, no matter how much you are making, especially if you are not if you don't manage it well. Okay, so what else do it means that your financial foundation is weak. So the first thing first that you want to do, are you in Canada? I'm in Texas. I'm in the United States. Deepak, welcome in. Welcome in. But we talk about everything global, anything money across the whole world. All right. So the first financial fortress that I talk about is financial planning. you need to have a financial plan, right? Because there's a verbiage that says if you do not plan, you plan to fail. That's basically it. If you do not plan, Deepak, income protection, Deepak, well said. Income protection. So you want to know, number one, you want to understand, where does your money go? You want to also give your money some form of protection, right? So think about it. You are planning, you are protecting. So that's why I always talk about, when we are talking about income layers, the first part of it is you have your income here, right? The next thing is I talk about emergency fund, income protection. 3 to 6 months of your income, your utilities, your rent or mortgage, your rent or mortgage, your groceries, and of course your transportation. Those four things for 3 months to 6 months. What that does is, the day that you lose, the day there is an emergency, job loss, income loss, a family emergency, you are still able to take care of yourself. Thank you all for tapping out the light. You are still able to take care of yourself. You see this layer, it is very, very important. The next thing, so income first, then if you are thinking of, okay, you started working, how should you structure your income? No, that's it. Emergency fund. After and you put it in an high savings account. After that, you now pay off high interest debt. Any debt that is above 10%, you take care of it. After that, you start investing. It's until that you start investing. You see, that is the layer of protection. Emergency fund, debt payoff, those are layers of financial planning and protection. The other thing that you also want to have is insurance. You want to make sure you have your HSA in place if if you can get that. Thank you all for tapping out the live. Thank you all for sharing out the live. Your insurance, you need to have your health insurance in place. You need to have your HSA in place. You want to also have something called trust, right? Such that, especially if you have a business, you have an LLC, you have all of that, you want protection. You don't want to build all of this, right? You don't want to build all of this, have real estate, have smart, and have a will, have a trust in place. All of those kind of things, something that you know that when you sleep with your two eyes closed, you know that you still have peace. That's basically it. Emergency fund will help you in a case of emergency. You will not run into dirt. Literally 30,000 people were laid off in what's it called, Oracle. 70,000 was laid off because Spirit Island went down, and Meta was going to is already did one wave of layoff, is doing another wave of layoff, right? That's it. Those are things that happens. Those are things that really happens every single day. But what does it do? Why do you need emergency? Which company are you representing? I'm not representing, I'm representing Money Talk with Dr. Lina, right? That is the company I'm representing. Money Talk with Dr. Lina, all right? So I'm a doctor of business and technology, and I help professionals turn their income into real wealth. So you basically have this foundation, right? Oh, great. Thank you all. We got to 10,000. Okay, let's get it to 20,000. Thank you all for doing that. And thank you for sharing the live. Thank you for the follow if you haven't done that. And thank you for the daily at me if you haven't done that as well. So this foundation, think about it. You need to have everything, have trust in place, have your insurance in place so that you don't work hard, right? Building your do your ETF and your smart investing, have your real estate, have your income, and somebody comes one day, or have your businesses, your franchise and all of that, and somebody wakes up one day and somebody comes to wipe it off based on litigation, or something happens to you and then government is the one, probate is they're the ones that determines the fate of your family. We know that we are all going to live long and all of that, but this happens every day. This is a very, very tough conversation, but it is the reality. Have your health insurance in place, right? I know these part people talk about IUL and all of that, but that is whatever works for you in terms of insurance, term, long, life, IUL, whichever one that works for you, just simply do it. All right? Have a form of protection in place. Have your emergency fund. Basically, just to wrap it up, have your emergency fund, have your insurance in place, have your trust in place, and of course, have an LLC if you have a business. Anything that looks like your protection, it is very important. Then think about it. Then the other side of it is of the planning, your 401k. If you do not have a 401k, you need to 401k, 403b, all of that, whichever. Make sure that you have all of those in place. Yeah, tell them about LLC. You need to have LLC. Especially if you have real estate. LLC is when you have it, and it really takes you how much? At times it's less than $500, depending on your city or your where you're doing it from. You can do it under 20 minutes. Do it on ink file. I don't know what they are called now. Ink file or Biz, is it BizMe or something now? That's what it's being called. If you want to open an LLC, send me a DM and I'll see you, or just go online and Google how to open an LLC. The only thing is that you're going to be filing taxes separately for the LLC and for yourself, because it's a different entity on its own. Cute Sammy, welcome and thank you for sharing the live. And thank you all for tapping out the live. So those are the things that are very important. Like, you have your LLC in place, right? You want to make sure that, because that's also going to help you reduce your taxes. Because remember, be an owner, right? BOR, right? Equally, be an owner. Be an owner. You want to move from being an earner, right? Transition, not totally transition. You can still be an earner, but always figure out how to be an owner. Have your LLC, buy your real estate, have your smart investing, have your own business. And whenever we talk about business does not literally mean that, oh, you need to go buy the franchise of a McDonald's or a laundromat. It can be as simple as sell things on TT Shop. Buy, but have it on your LLC. Buy t-shirt, branded t-shirt, books, or whatever. Have it on the side. Something that when you're sleeping, you are not, is making you money. But ultimately, the protection is very, very key. Protection layer is very key. And most importantly, know where your money goes. So whenever you are having your income, I'll talk about the 4 account system that you should have. As part of your protection and your planning, have your 401k. That's 1. 2 is have your Roth IRA. 3 is have your HSA. And of course, have your brokerage, individual brokerage account that helps you. Let's tap out the live. Thank you all for tapping out the live. I know we are locked in. Let's tap out the live, okay? Let's tap out the live. Let's get it to 20,000. All right, can we do that? Abika, welcome in. Invalid, welcome in. Cute Sammy, the new LLC selling documents, financial content. Docs Financial, my new LLC selling docs financial content. I'm not sure what that means. Are you saying, and thank you all for BJD, thank you for tapping out the live, and everyone tapping out the live. So have a will, have your insurance, right? And of course, the next thing, right? That's basically have your 4 account system, your 4 like I mentioned. And then the next thing is the second part of the financial foundation. So if you are looking at it, remember, there is the cross sign, right? There is one of it. You have taken one side. We have 4 sides we have, now we've talked about the financial planning. Now let's talk about financial literacy. You need to have understanding of your money. You need to know where your money is going. You need to know everything that I'm talking about right now. Does it even make sense? Financial literacy, financial education. Get books, right? Take as part of what you're doing, get simple books like this. Simple books like this that you can read, right? Get ebooks, right? Books that will help you grow. Get ebooks, take courses. If you want courses on smart investing, you want courses on real estate investing, you find the link in my bio. Take it, invest in yourself. The biggest thing that you can ever, when they asked Warren Buffett, what is the biggest investment? He said the biggest investment or the best investment you can ever make is in yourself. Because when you invest in stock, you can lose it. But when you invest in yourself, you cannot lose it. When you invest in real estate, you can lose it, and it gets bad or whatever for whatsoever reason, which most of the time that doesn't happen. But what I'm saying is, You have to invest in yourself. No one can take that away from you. My new LLC selling docs financial content. Okay, all right. So invalid new LLC selling docs financial content. Are you going to be starting? What am I'm saying is doc write a book on or an ebook. I do have my ebook. You find it right there. The wealth blueprint, a path to financial freedom. You will find it right there in the bio. You'll find it right there. All right. But then LLC, if you're talking about it's to write a book on LLC, I rather get the people that are professional that do LLC to do it, right? I always prefer that so that I can focus on what I know. But thank you so much for that. For that is the ebook free. When you get there, you would see. You'll get there, the wealth blueprint. What do you think? What do you think? All right, you get this free, you get ebook free, you get everything free, right? Everything. But then how do you invest in yourself? How do you invest in yourself? So what is most important is you investing in yourself. Think about it. You went to school, right? You paid for different courses. You paid for different courses, you did all of that, right? You paid through school. But that is you investing. What was the return on investment? You got a job, right? That is keeping you for 9 to 5, giving you money and helping you to build wealth, right? That's it. Just the same way, invest in yourself. One of the biggest thing you can ever do. That's what I don't joke with, right? I invested in myself academically, did my bachelor's, became a chartered accountant, got my master's, got my doctorate. But that's one side. But then I don't still stop investing in myself. Whenever I wanted to start with real estate, I paid $1,000 plus just to get education about real estate. That $1,000 has created millions of dollars, not million, millions of dollars for me in terms of real estate. And it will keep growing, right? To tens of millions of dollars. That's it. That's it. With what? I got use $1,000, which I actually claim as part of taxes. Live a clean life, trouble free. Absolutely. That's it. Clean life, trouble free life. That's it. That's the most beautiful thing you can do for yourself. And of course, a life that is going to help you, a purposeful life is even better. A purposeful life, right? Not just work and pay bills, but do something that will give you financial freedom, right? Invest in yourself, right? I always say this, get a book and read. The time that you're spending on, on this, you need to understand how investment works. Instead of you watching Love Island and watching Love is Blind and all of that, I'm not saying you should not watch it. Of course, I watch it too. That's why that sometimes when I have the time, that's why I know it exists, right? But if you spend 50% of the time in there, also take a book and invest in your brain, in your mental capacity, expand your knowledge, right? Expand your knowledge. It doesn't have to be, about it can be on real estate, it can be investing, it can be, it can be like, okay, about the countries of things that actually, it can be about LLC. We talked about LLC today. Go understand what it means, right? All of those. Arike, welcome. And thank you all for tapping out the live. Can we get it to 20,000? And thank you for sharing the live. We're talking about wealth building. We are on a series of wealth building. Today is about the financial foundation. We've talked about the other 3 pillars, and we are talking about financial foundation today. And we started with financial planning, talking about LLC, emergency funds, talking about your trust, all of those kind of things. That's what we talked about. I don't understand LLC. Yeah, I know you did not miss it. Just open an LLC and start buying your real estate, right? All of that, everything about LLC, you would find it in the real estate, how to buy your real estate in 90 days. You will find it in the course. How to buy your real estate in 90 days. Everything you need to know about LLC, how you should do it, because there's no point opening an LLC if you are not using it for anything, right? So the first thing first is the one of the pillars. You need to have a pillar to address that, okay? You have your real estate, and then you can at least you need to know what you are using the LLC. Otherwise, you'll just be filing taxes and paying for something you are not using. You can also use it for consultancy. So you can do, there's some jobs that they would say, what's it called? There's 1099, then there's another one, cup to cup. So you can use cup to cup. You need to for you need to have an LLC to do a cup to cup, which is you are the one paying your taxes. Do you read Purposeful Life by David Mamor? Ah, no, I haven't. I need to get it. I will get it. Thank you for bringing that. Is it a good one? Have you read it? So financial literacy, you need to have an understanding. How does investment work? You work too hard for your money, trading 9 to 5 of your time every day for some people 45 years, for every day of your life. You're doing this completely, right? And diligently. So you need to understand, whenever I put my money into investing, how does investing work? How does it work? You need to have an understanding of that. The second thing is that understanding asset and liability. What does that mean? What is asset? Asset is anything that puts money in your pocket. Liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. Example of asset that like real estate. Example of liability are cars, right? Cars will take money out of your pocket, except you are using the car for a business. That's an example. But even beyond that, understanding. See, this book that you have here, Rich Dad Poor Dad, this is, I'm not selling it, but you can also, I think you have it in my showcase or whatever right there. You might have it right there. It's even a long time I talked about it. Oh, I don't even think he has anything right there. But liabilities is your girlfriend, but there's so many girlfriends that are assets, okay? Invalid. So many yes, like girlfriend, yes. Maybe like a side chick is a liability. Wife is an asset. Girlfriend or fiancé that is getting married that is sensible is an asset. The same way a boyfriend that is taking money from you is a liability, right? Just the same way. But I like that illustration. Thank you so much for that. So these will tell you this book is probably $9.99. So it doesn't even cost you up to your lunch. Get it. Or get my ebook. It's right now is that my ebook is the Wealth Blueprint. It's like it's a 12-page read that will help tell you everything that you need. Get started when it comes to investing. Tell you stories and all of that will help you, right? You should get that. It's $9.99 right now. Typically it's $19.99, but it's at a discount right now at $9.99, and you will find it in my bio. Invest in yourself, right? The biggest investment that you can have is in yourself. These are other books for people that this is really good. It's going to help your mindset, like Think and Grow Rich, The Psychology of Money, right? See, The Richest Man in Babylon. These are books that can help you, right? And if you're strictly looking for something real estate, this is BRR strategy, right? BRR strategy that you can read and all of that. Get this. If you get this, get the course, the 4-module course, 90 days, how to buy real estate in 90 days. Get this one. You're good to go when it comes to real estate. You are good to go, right? You are definitely good to go because you have mostly of what you need right there. These are the 90 days course, right? The how to buy real estate in 90 days. You will find that one in my you'll find it in my bio, right? You'll find that liability, yes, alcohol, shopping mall, not necessarily, because it depends on what you are buying in the shopping mall. If the kids are going back to school and you are going to shop, right? For them, either ways is part of your bills, right? Then The Richest Man in Babylon was Mansa Musa. What's the name? It's Clark. George Clason, right? So those are beautiful books. Invest in yourself. Understand assets and liability, right? Then knowing how money grows. Understand how do you grow your money, right? And let's keep tapping out the live. I know we are all locked in. Let's start. Pat, welcome in. Opal, BJD. And if you have not followed, do that. Ajay, Arike, follow. If you have not followed, and tap out the live, share the live. Understand asset and liability, knowing how money works. So if you don't understand money, you would always misuse money. If you do not, and if money also understand, if you do not give money direction, you would realize that the money in itself would grow its legs and it will start giving itself direction. How did he have LLC? Smart investor, smart real estate. I'm not sure what you mean. How did he have LLC? Smart investor, real estate. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Okay, so great. So make sure that you give your money direction. All right. And the one that is most people, or the one that is most important is that a lot of people do not have money problem. They have a discipline problem. Yeah, right? Discipline. This is the biggest of them. You see, in this foundation, right? The biggest, see. Yeah, discipline. Yes. Harike said yes. Are you on that? Are you right? Discipline. That's the biggest of. So you see, this discipline can crumble the entire house. It would crumble it. In all that we are saying, if you lack discipline, so let's say the discipline it starts with discipline, it ends with financial freedom. Yeah, discipline. Because a lot of people, it's the discipline that will make sure that if your friend is buying something that you do not, discipline will keep you from having progress. Yes. Discipline is lack of procrastination, is the procrastination spirit. Discipline is the wasteful spirit. Discipline is the competition spirit. Discipline is laziness. Discipline is just everything. I'm at work, I'm listening to you. Absolutely. Thank you all for tapping out the live. Can we get it to 20,000? Can we power tap? Yeah, let's show the discipline and and follow the instruction. Tap to 20,000. Let's show the discipline. Are we disciplined here? Yes. So it is very important. And one thing that, staying consistent with one of the things. Discipline is lack of consistency. Sticking to your plan, right? Remember, let's talk about the 4-account system. And one thing that will help you with discipline, right? At least from money perspective, something that will help you. Something that will help you. Who wants to know? Put yes. Something that will help you with discipline. Who wants to know? Put 1 if you want to know the things that help you with discipline. You want to know how to deal with discipline. 1. Okay. Any other person? Okay. Virginia Mota, welcome. Who else wants to know what is going to help you with discipline? Put 1 if you want to know what will help you, especially when it comes to your finances. I mean, since we are talking about finances, it makes sense. Okay. Okay. Invalid. You said it 2 times. All right. Okay. Let's tap out the life. Okay. At least I know we are here. Can we tap out the life? Let's tap out the life. Let's get it. Let's keep tapping out the life and share the life as well. Okay, share, press my forehead and share with your friends and family. So it is one thing that helped me and I will share with you is the 4-account system. When you have this 4-account system and you also with the 4-account system and then you set up the automation will help you with discipline. It would drive the discipline automatically. It would supersede discipline. So if you are not disciplined when it comes to your money, use this 4-account system and make sure that you set it. You set it up for, set the 4-account system and set automation in place. The first account is your income. Keep your income, right? When your income comes in, and this is a separate account, it's an account, right? You have your income account. And then in that income account, automate your bill to go to your bills and spending account. Your bill and spending account, ensure that all of your bills, right, they're automatically removed. Remember, auto, right? Automatically removed. So your rent, your mortgage, your utilities, everything is automatically removed because automatically income has already pushed money to your bills because you already know. Let's assume that your income is $5,000, right? Your bill for this month, your bill is $4,000, right? $4,000 will go to your bills account. That bill, $4,000 in your bills account, automatically your rent, everything, utilities, all of that goes into the account. Then automatically they remove it. Then this same bills account is going to fund the next account, which is your emergency funds account. This emergency funds account is 3 to 6 months of your basic needs. It funds it and you get it to capacity, right? Automatically as well. You don't touch it. See, whenever you have something that is auto, it's just like, think about it. Your paycheck right now, you probably don't even know how much you earn. In terms of, you only know it's like, okay, you know what, my paycheck is 150,000, for instance. But then when you break down to 150,000, it's not, you're definitely not getting 13,000 or 12,500 every month. You're probably getting maybe like 9,000 or 8,000. That's what you're getting. That's because automatically they've removed the taxes. Automatically they remove the health. Automatically they remove social security. So you are confined to what is left. So your bills automatically is within that. So now think about it. If you already also set your bills automatically, your emergency fund, that's also automatically, right? And you see that, okay, automatically in your head, it will tell you that you only receive $3,000 in a month, because all of these things would have been deducted and taken care of from the source. So automatically in your head, you know that you cannot afford a car note. I mean, because they would have removed car notes as well. You cannot afford, when that your friend is telling you that, oh, they're doing this party and they need somebody is asking you, oh, I need 1,500. You already know in your automatically that I cannot afford that. But if you are looking at the $10,000 that is coming in as your income, and you don't have all of this automation done, you'd realize that you would not, in your mind is programmed that, oh, it's 10,000. I only need 10,000. I only need 1,000. That's nothing compared to what I have. Augustine, welcome in. Thank you so much for tapping out the light. Do not send money home automatically. Invalid. Automatically. That's what I'm emphasizing. Automatically do not. Okay? Don't send it home. Because if you send it home, then what happens is that you automatically make sure that is it automatically or automatedly, right? Also have your all of your credit cards, let them be paid. Set it up before the date. Like, let's assume, because you can set it up whereby you're saying that any balance, minimum my balance or whatever that I used for the month, it should be paid on this date. You can set it automatically or automatedly. Let it be auto. Automatedly is the right word, actually. Automatedly. Automate everything. And then the last one is pay yourself first, right? As a matter, Millicent, welcome in. As a matter of fact, you see this one, that even comes before the bills. Either you might like me for this or not. But if you already plan it well, why should I pay my credit card first? I need to, that's why I said, I did not say credit card. I said you pay yourself first. The wealth one is the last one that I just mentioned, but I said you need to move it to the second. Once your income comes in, just welcome in. Thank you all for tapping out the light. Thank you for sharing the light. You see that you are going to see the difference. You see what I just told you? Just use it for 3 months. Thank you for tapping out the light. Thank you for sharing the light. Use it for 3 months and you'd realize, you'll see the peace of mind that comes with it. You will see that you're going to have clarity with your money. Thank you all for the follow. If you haven't followed, follow. We'll be wrapping up shortly. And we are talking, this is the Wealth Building Series, Financial Foundation. It's what we're talking about. And we are on the third pillar of the financial foundation, which is financial discipline. Thank you all for tapping out the live. So, and all of this, when it comes to discipline, there has to be something called consistency that comes with it. And those on YouTube, welcome in. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. I'm Dr. Lina. I'm Doctor of Business and Technology, and I help professionals turn their income into real wealth. So welcome in. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Follow if you haven't followed. And today is all about the Wealth Foundation, which is the last part of the wealth building series, and we'll be wrapping up shortly. So, okay, awesome, great. So, sticking to the plan, right? Be consistent. Stay consistent. Discipline. See, if you are doing something automatedly, right? Automate discipline, consistency. Thank you. Automate discipline, consistency. Psychaba, welcome in. Automate discipline, consistency, right? As a matter of fact, automate consistency, it's going to lead to discipline, right? Because when you automate it, you become consistent. You are forced to be consistent, and then it brings about discipline. It equals discipline, basically. Equals discipline. So sticking to your plan, investing regularly, ensuring that you are investing regularly. So you stick with this 4-account system that we talked about. And the 4th account that I mentioned, which is pay yourself, your 401k, your Roth IRA, your HSA, and of course, your brokerage account. That's the 4, right? You need to put me at the back of the class. Yeah, I need to. Actually, I need to. Let's keep tapping out the life. Right. Let's keep tapping. Let's get it to 20,000. Yeah. So, sticking to the plan, investing regularly, and of course, controlling your spending. When you control your spending, remember it is here. Income here, expense here. Right? The gap here is what helps you. Income, expense. This gap is what is going to help you build wealth. Discipline is what turns your knowledge into results. Because yes, above all, we want to be disciplined, but then you see the automation will get you instant results. Right? Instant result. Right? Know that one thing. I have met people that makes $500,000. Met people making close to $1 million. And as a matter of fact, Braytown, thank you so much for the follow. And if you have not followed, yeah, you want to follow because it's going to help you. Mayalistic, welcome in. Braytown, welcome in, and welcome to the party. All right. Most people don't have money problem. They have a discipline problem. Because, and you might think that, oh, you know what? I'm making money. Otherwise, think about it. A lot of people, you would have heard of I'm not sure what that is. Anyway, yeah, I'm just getting one alert here and I'm not sure what that is. So this, you have to be disciplined. You basically have to, what happens when I fall apart like sick? When you fall apart like sick, that's where you have your emergency fund. When you fall apart and you're sick, that is when you have your HSA in place. Right? You have your HSA. All of those things are supposed to bring protection. So think about it. It is a foundation. All this, that's a good question, Invalid, because it is back to the foundation that we talked about. Remember, these are pillars. It's growing. This is income. This is smart investing. This is what's it called? This is your business. This is, of course, real estate, right? But then here is the foundation, such that if something happens, right, you have already taken care of it. That's why we talked about your debt payoff, right? Any interest above 10%, debt payoff, right? Any emergency fund, we talked about that. Those are layers. Having your financial planning, your 401k in terms of old age, when you are already old and gray, that's part falling apart, when you are prone to more sickness, right? HSA, right? Have your HSA in place so that you have some funds in your health growth. As a matter of fact, is a triple savings tax savings account, HSA. Have your trust in place. Just have your insurance in place. All of those things falls into have your 4 account system in place. All of those things are the things that helps you with your financial foundation. And all of these together, remember, you need to have the foundation. You have to have the growth, right? You have to have all of the growth, real estate, smart investing, what's this one? Income, businesses, and then your goal is what? Financial freedom. This is your freedom because that's the height. That is your freedom right here. If you don't if you don't build all of this, right? Even if you just focus on this, that's why some people stay stuck. They focus on real estate, they focus on this, and somebody takes a litigation on them one time and they lose it all. Or they do a leverage, they did not plan, they over leverage and something happened and then it falls. And that's where you see, oh, like a Dave Ramsey initially, that's what led to him being bankrupt again. That's why, initially, because yes, he was focusing on the growth, but then the foundation was missing. Because there was no financial education, he was just living life at the large. There was no discipline. And guess what? The house fell like the house of cards, fell and it crumbled. So the foundation is very key. Financial discipline, financial literacy, financial planning, very, very key, right? So which of those 3 are you struggling with right now? 1, put 1 if it's financial planning. 2, financial literacy. 3, financial discipline. Which of them? What was the foundation again? 1, financial planning. 2 is financial literacy. 3 is the financial discipline. So which of these, babes, welcome in. Which of them are you working on right now? Which of them are struggling on? Which one are you struggling with the most right now? Put in the comment section. I'm reading. All of them invalid. Okay. But you're getting education right now. Good. Yeah. 2, Opal said literacy. So you're trying to build education. 1 is planning, guys. 2 is literacy. 3 is discipline. So which of them? Opal, BJ, Arike, Tammy, Ogun, which of them are you struggling with right now? Planning, literacy, discipline. Which of them? Which of them? 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh, planning. Okay. Planning. Okay. And let's keep tapping out the life. Who else is there? Tammy, she leads with Shay, BJ, D. Which of them are you struggling with right now the most? Planning is 1, 2 is literacy, 3 is discipline. Okay. Hey, Mr. Ben, welcome in. Spending on girlfriends. Invalid. You are just, yeah. So that's part of discipline. How to invest in brokerage account balance. Okay. That is also, that is part of discipline, right? That is part of discipline. That is. So that's great. That is great. So, and I hope you guys have learned 1 or 2 things today that has helped you, because this is why and you talked about investing. I don't just teach investing. I also teach a system. It's basically a system. It's basically a system that I teach. Everything about this wealth building, we're going to be doing everything again in June. So there's going to be a wealth building academy where we are bringing HR to, it's going to be focused on this last pillar. And it's going to be focused on the first pillar, which is income. Last pillar, first pillar. We're going to be talking about what is part of financial planning. Financial planning is having your trust, we talked about trust, we talked about LLC, we talked about emergency fund, We talk about your 401k, you talk about all of your retirement, your present, your future, and all of that. Planning for that, putting structure in place, budget, all of those kind of things. As it speaks, planning. That's what that is. So tomorrow, I think, just to recap, we will talk about the most important part of it, which is, we're talking about wealth itself, and then we'll talk about financial freedom. Tomorrow, it's about wealth and financial freedom. What are the various types of wealth? Whenever we say wealth, it's money, right? That's what we always say. It's money. It's money is right. That's what we always say. But no, it's more than that. We have, the different types of wealth, and then we would also focus on the last piece, which is the goal. Remember, it starts from here. The goal is, where's the goal, right? The goal is financial freedom. Freedom. Money is not the goal. Money is just a tool towards achieving that goal, right? So money, financial freedom is the goal. But a lot of times we are always here, which is income. And there will always be the gap. If you don't fix that gap, you will keep chasing. That's why people they work to 65 and never get financial freedom. Thank you all for tapping out the live. We're wrapping up in 3 minutes. Can we get that to 15,000 at least, or get it to 20,000? I know we are 7 of us. If we can all tap out heavily, we can if we can all tap it out heavily, we can definitely get there. We can definitely get there. Awesome. Thank you all for doing that. So I already said what we're talking about. So you don't need to build wealth from income alone. Always know that. You build it from structure, and your financial freedom is where it all starts. I just realized I sent about 12,000 home last year. Where are you from, Invalid? Which home? Because we need to. You said you just realized, okay, you're making so much money. Invalid, you have been a 63-year-old man. You're from Kenya. Oh, beautiful. For what part of Kenya? Nairobi. Nigerian. Yeah, that's beautiful. Invalid, we need to do better. But did you use it for investment though? Did we use it for investment? Is it investment, or were you Nairobi? I plan to go to Nairobi this my brothers turned 50. No, help of a family. Okay. I hope there was really an issue. Is it really an issue, or they're just taking money from you? $12,000 is a lot of money. It is. Right, it is. I mean, I'm okay with people helping people, but pay yourself first. In your own words, Invalid. PYSR, right? Yeah, no fees here and there. Yeah. So I hope you have been paying yourself first. I hope the 12,000 is from interest on your investing, not on your. I hope it's not your income that is that 12,000 that you send home. I hope his return is the 15% through S&P 500. Which one did you say the other day? What was the volatility ETF, or what volatile ETF, right? I hope it's from the return from it, not your income, right? Thank you all for tapping out the light. So, Arike, did you do the same thing? Did you send all of the money to to Niger? Yeah. I don't have any problem with you doing your black taxes. But in the midst of you build, you're not. Trust me, you're not. That's why you're here. You're not. And I know that you're not. You're just saying this. There's power of life and death in the tongue. Remember that. You cannot be you're doing it right. That's why you're here that's why you're here. And I appreciate you being here, learning every day. Trust me, you are far better than quite a number of people when it comes to financial literacy. Yeah, you quite way better, right? And whenever something happens, right? I know that people would say, oh, you lost money in the stock market, or maybe you suddenly realize, now you've realized that right now, and you basically pick it up and boom, you now you have all the tools that you need. You know how to invest in real estate, you know how to invest in the stock market, you know how to you now you have your financial foundation. You know that now before you send anything in terms of or pay any black taxes, you know that you need to pay yourself first because you've been writing it over and over and over again. So you know that now. You know the 4 account system now. We are at 16. Thank you. Yeah, great. Great. So you know all of that now. We know all of that now. So even if anything might be appear wrong in the past, now you can always fix it. So tomorrow is going to be all about the financial freedom. Why should we even chase financial freedom? Why is financial freedom important? Why do I talk about it? Why do you need financial freedom? Why should you be financial free? That's what tomorrow do. Don Small, welcome in. Jen Rosette, welcome in. Why should you have financial freedom? Why should you embark on financial freedom? Why should you be financially free? What's the difference between somebody that retires at 40 and somebody that decides to retire at 65? Right? All of those things are the things we'll talk about tomorrow. And then why do I like somebody, why is it even important? Like, and then what are the different, because it's linked to one thing, the different types of wealth. Because if you understand it, then you understand that, okay, you know what? If you understand the different types of wealth, you understand why it is important to have financial freedom, right? You will understand that. All right. Can we tap it to, we're wrapping up now. Can we tap it to everyone? Can we heavily tap it to 20,000? That would be great. Can we all tap to 20,000? I know we are all locked in. We did so amazing. We did so amazing today. Absolutely, absolutely amazing. I hope you learned one or two things. I hope you learned a lot. I hope I was able to add value and you learned. And if you have not followed, follow. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, it's Money Talk with Dr. Lina. Even on Instagram as well, it's Money Talk with Dr. Lina. And I'm Doctor of Business and Technology, and I help professionals turn their income into real wealth. What does that mean? If all that you do is you take your income and you fund lifestyle, depreciating lifestyle, you'd realize that you have to keep working and continue to fund that lifestyle till age 65 to age 67. And even at that, you realize that you do not even still have that financial freedom. So how then do you get financial freedom? Right? It is all of this technology, IT. What's that? Technology, yes, information system, information management system. So technology, IT, so it's still the same thing. The information, the data that is in the system, right? And the technology behind it. That's what it means. Is that what you're asking? Right? I hope that answers your question. And we're almost there, 17,500. Egg Boy, welcome in. Opal, want to learn about real estate? Yes, let me show you. Everything about real estate, just so if there's, most importantly, I teach this, and thank you all for tapping out the live. Thank you for the follow if you haven't followed. If you go here, right, click on it. This is my bio. You can go out right there and you will see it on my bio. So right here, if you go here, you would see nestyou.me. Click on it and click on open. You would find it right here. That's it. You have how to buy real estate in 90 days is a course, right? Right there. And then how to buy, for people that want to learn how to invest in real estate, in ETF, how to buy ETF, you find it right here. Smart investing workshop, how to buy everything from beginning to the end. You will find it there, including some of the ETFs that you should buy with their trends and the data. All of that you will find in there. right? And you were asking about you were talking about my book earlier, right? You would see it right here, the wealth blueprint, the path of financial freedom. Invalid. You have it right there. You said doctorate in finance. No, technology, business and technology. My doctorate is in business and technology, specifically information systems, information management system. But then I am also, my bachelor's is in economics, but I'm a chartered accountant as well. So, what else do you want to know? VJ, thank you for the follow. Thank you. BJD, thank you for the follow. And every other person, if you haven't followed, follow. And there's so many free resources on my YouTube. So let me show you. Let me show you. And be on the lookout for the Wealth Building Academy. Yeah. So here is it. This is my YouTube right there. And there are so many, because I do have long form videos right there that can see. So if you haven't subscribed, you are missing out heavily right there, because they are structured videos, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that you can sit, watch, and understand. Get your understanding right there. How to ETF versus real estate. What was this one? If you had to start from zero, retiring at 40, really how to buy real estate, VOO, QQQ, all of those kind of things you find. Even where I was interviewed, where is that one? Yes, I was interviewed by the Investors Pro, right? Where I was interviewed. Yes, Money Talk with Dr. Lina. Doctor there is DR, and Lina is Lina. So just like the name here, I'm the same thing on IG as well, and I'm on Instagram. Oh yeah, drama, welcome, welcome in. And yeah, and if you want to see my video that got the 1.6 million, going almost 1.7 million views, it's on Instagram as well. So subscribe, just subscribe across on my YouTube, Money Talk with Dr. Lina, Instagram, Money Talk with Dr. Lina, on TikTok, of course. If you haven't followed on that, okay, yeah. But welcome, welcome. Oh yeah, welcome, and thank you for tapping on the light. Thank you for the follow, and we are wrapping up now. Get you a DJI Pocket handheld camera. Okay. All right. Maybe you need to get that one I mean, invest in the life and get that one. But whatever that is, I'll look it up. I'll look it up. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. All right, all right. We're wrapping up now, and really appreciate you. I know we couldn't get to 20,000. I know we all tried, but we will try better. Maybe we'll start tapping earlier tomorrow, okay? But I have to go now because we have to go do school runs. All right, I love you guys so much. Ensure that your money is working harder than you do. And if you just joined, I'm Money Talk with Dr. Lina. I'm Dr. Lina, Doctor of Business and Technology, and I do help professionals turn their 9 to 5 income into real wealth. I'm a serial investor with double-digit real estate portfolio, and of course, been investing for close to 2 decades, either in terms of stocks or in terms of real estate. All right, and I'll see you later. Come back again. Yes, my friend Invalid Ogun Jamilo Augustine. Let me know. Yeah, welcome. Serial investor. Yes, that's because I own double-digit real estate portfolio. And aside from that, smart investing as well. Do hundreds of thousands of dollars of that as well. So makes me serial. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much. All right. Bye. Bye.